All right, so I've gotten into some firearms and shooting at ranges. This is the budget cluster right here. So I've watched a lot of YouTube videos, and some people don't like these or have had bad experiences with them, but I just couldn't afford the kind of money it would cost to pay more and maybe still have an issue. But for guns on a budget, these things have been really good. So let's take a look at each of them. All right, the first one is an Escort Slugger by Hatsu, I think. If I'm sorry, I apologize if I wrecked that name, but it's a Turkish shotgun. This is under 150 bucks, and I've probably only shot about 25 shells through it. It's been great. It's always worked when I've shot it, like straight out of the box when I shot it the first time. Worked fine. I put a high velocity Black Aces slug through it and shot a block of ice from, I don't know, 25, 30 yards away, maybe more than that, and it blew it up. So it's pretty accurate, or it was pretty, I was pretty impressed with the accuracy. Same thing with target load. I've had no issues with the types of shells I shoot through it. Again, most of it's been target load, a couple buckshot rounds and then a couple of those slugs, but all of them have worked. The only issue that I've had with this so far, and I know some people with the tactical one have had really, at least a couple people that I've seen online with really bad experiences with them, is, at least for me, is the ejection, when you have to really slide this thing back fast and hard and push it forward pretty hard in order to get the next round in, and to get the shell to eject and then to reload the next one. If you're too slow on it and you tip it down or tip it, that way, it doesn't eject or doesn't slide up. So if you're fast and furious with it, it works pretty well. I've got these snap caps just to kind of work that out a little bit. So I put the snap caps in and I slide it and pump it, and kind of worked out some of those little kinks with it. But again, for what some people might call a home defense shotgun, if I needed it for that and it came down to it, I would feel 100% like confident that it would work. I've again, limited time I've shot it, but I kind of know how it works now. I'm kind of working with it again with the snap caps. It's kind of helpful. So yeah, I've been really happy with it for the price. Again, if I were to shoot it more, maybe I might regret that, but we'll see what happens. But I knew I wasn't going to shoot it a ton and put a bunch of rounds through it. So for what I've used it for, and maybe get out and do some this summer, shoot some clay pigeons once in a while. We'll see how it holds up for that. But really, for something that's not going to be shot that frequently, it'll be there when I need it. Okay, the next one I got was it's a Taurus GX2. This is the one I didn't go completely cheapo on it. If I would have went completely cheapo with it, I would have gotten the Hi-Point C9. From what I've seen, with helping those YouTubers again that have spent more time with their guns than I have. But this is a great little 9mm. Comes with two of these 13 round magazines. I didn't have to get any more. It was nice it came with both of them. Pretty tight spring though, hard to load, but I get used to it and works fine. So obviously it doesn't have anything in it. I've had no issues with this thing whatsoever. It's been a great little pistol, other than the fact that I need to get better at shooting it. My aim is terrible, if I'm being honest. But it's been fun to learn, work with different grips, again, appreciating those other YouTubers and other people who have shot more guns than I have, at least, or I should say pistols at least. Growing up out in the country, I'd shoot plenty of BB guns, 22s, a little bit of shotgun, but not a whole lot of that. But definitely not a lot of experience with pistols, other than an air pistol that I had, which had no kick at all. So this one's I've seen other people shoot it, and they say it's pretty accurate, and I would say so too. Again, I just need to get better at it. But again, no issues, easy to take apart and clean, super handy, yeah, again, 100% reliable with it. I probably put 500 to 800 rounds through this thing already. And I clean it every time just because I like doing that and I have time to do it. I enjoy that part of it as well, taking the gun apart, see how they work, and cleaning them up a little bit. So great little pistol. Got to get better at the shooting part of it. Happy I got it. Under 250 bucks. All right, so this one, it's almost like a cult classic from what I've seen online. Maybe the pistol is more the C9, but this is yep, it's a Hi-Point 995. I did put a red dot on it, and I got to shoot that the other day after, or sighted it in, and then shot it at an outdoor range. But even the iron sights that were on there were really accurate right out of the box. Put a forward grip on it. It's got two 10-round magazines, so I guess I wish I would put a few more. But from what I've seen, the extender magazines, people have issue with those, so I didn't even bother. So again, appreciate that. People putting content out there that's useful. The only downside that I would say with this one is it is hard to take apart, or tricky, or more difficult to take apart and clean. But again, I don't mind doing that. I enjoyed doing that. My daughter, who was back on leave from the military, we shot it, and then we sat down and she's a kid, so she just started taking it apart, and we gave it a nice cleaning, and that's the only first cleaning I gave it after about 500 rounds or so. Probably could have shot more, but that's all right. Like I said, I like taking apart and cleaning stuff, or cleaning the guns. Probably reaching close to 1,000 rounds through this gun already, and had no issues whatsoever. And again, my first experience with the red dots. I've growing up shooting through sights. The red dots, almost, I feel like it's cheating once you get it sighted in. It's like, oh my gosh, I can hit it right where I shoot, right where I want, right where I'm aiming 100%. So anyways, it's been a great little gun. It's got the little shock absorbers on the back. Some people may not like it, don't, but it has very little kick anyways. I put a little forward grip on here. Again, budget forward grip. I got this thing for like $12 maybe, on Grab-A-Gun, and that V-Life red dot, less than $20 on Amazon. So I am a budget gun owner easily. So, but yeah, it's been great. Everything works fine. The sighting in was easy, and really enjoyed this gun. So, and I've heard a lot of people who've gotten it, they've also enjoyed it. All right. And then last, I had an old Winchester 22. It's probably over 50 years old. It's probably built to survive forever, longer than I will live. But so I traded it out and sold it, and then ended up getting this. Again, all these guns, none of these guns are over $250. The High Point was probably the most expensive, but everything else was well under that. So again, budget friendly. Same thing with this red dot, this Pinty red dot, $20, $19 on Amazon. Really easy to sight in, really easy to use. Again, this is get to the gun itself, but this is a 22, a Rock Island import, TM22 Feather. It came with two little baby 10-round magazines. I did get the 25 rounder because I figured this is going to be my range gun when I do go, because it's like 6 cents a round to shoot it when you wait and get the rounds on sale. At Dunham's is where I get them. And the 9mm, if I'm patient, I can get those for about 26 cents a round. So it's got a collapsible stock over here, and then this cheek thing. I'm not sure if I like this yet or not. It's kind of about where I have it. I'm going to play with that a little bit more. I've probably shot almost over 500 rounds through this thing, maybe even getting close to 1,000 rounds in the short time I've had it. Again, for a good range gun, can pour through a ton of rounds in this thing, especially with the magazines I have. I go 45 rounds already loaded up and fire through that pretty quickly. So I did add, let's see, the Picatinny rails that came with it, and then it's more of an M-lock underneath here. But then I put, again, on Amazon, I got a whole package of, I can do Picatinny rails this far, all different sizes. It's like $7. I go to, sorry, Fleet Farm, but I go there and they have this same little thing for $20 for just that. For $7, I got a whole variety. So I can take that forward grip I put on the High Point. I can put that on here if I want. Yeah, just super fun to shoot. Again, the only issue, like I'm trying to figure out, is I can say this gun is pretty reliable. A couple misfeeds. I thought it was maybe the Federal 40 grain high velocity or 40 grain target loads that I had gotten. That maybe it was that. And I tried Armscore, Hollow Point. No issues, but those are really dirty. So, anyways, like I said, this gun is really easy to take apart and clean. Just take this rail off. There's two little screws up here that with an Allen wrench, take that off. Then the rod's kind of right through here. Pull that out pretty carefully. Make sure it doesn't come flying out at you. And then this component comes out. It's pretty easy to take apart and clean compared to the High Point. But so again, I don't mind doing that. It's pretty easy to do. Let's see, what was the other round? Oh, I got some Aguila just the other day, and I fired those. those off. Definitely got a weird smell. I've heard other people talk about that as well. Weird smell to the Aguila, but I like the way it sounded coming out of the gun. Again, super accurate rounds. Definitely not as dirty. And I think I might have had one failure with the Aguila, and most of the failures I've had have come with the Federal. I've had zero with the Armscor, but again, it's really dirty. But what I'm getting at is I don't know that it's the rounds. I think it might have something to do with the Federal, but I really think it has a lot to do with the fact that this really likes to run lubed. And I think I've seen other people say that as well. So I clean my guns with Gun Lube 2000. So I don't know if there's something better out there. I've seen people use motor oil. I don't know. I'm not that advanced yet. So I'm just using what I've know works right now, and maybe eventually I'll branch out. But yeah, but it's been a great little gun. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I know I really liked the GSG 16. But again, for about $330, that thing was. This is like $150 cheaper what I got it for. And I can essentially do about the same thing. And I put my red dot on, I can put my forward grip on, and I got an extender magazine. You know, maybe someday I'll get a second 25 rounder and I'll have more, but and it's easy to take apart and clean. So it basically can essentially do the same thing. And I have had very few misfires or very few issues. And like I said, I think it's after I fired a lot of rounds through it, it kind of dries out a little bit. And then I'm wondering if that's it. And then I get one or two every once in a while. But by then I'm about done anyways, because I fired over 100 rounds through it already at that point. So there you go. So there you go. The budget guns, 100% budget for sure. Now I think if I were needed a little more serious home defense, or there was something more going on, I would think I would invest in probably a Mossberg type shotgun. But for, again, what I'm using it for, it's perfect price. And I think if I were going to tax some of these guns a little more and use them a little bit more rigorously and a bit more tactical situations and such, I probably would break the bank on at least one of these other ones and make sure like I had something. But really, for the most part, I know these guns are going to work. I'm not stressing them out. So I guess in the worst case scenario, we've got a huge invasion or attack or something, I don't have the best guns in the world, but I got ones that I know are going to work and I know how they operate. But anyways, that's, it's pretty far-fetched in some ways. But really, for the most part, they've been fun to take to the range and use for what I'm using them for, without having to break the bank on the guns, on the accessories, and even on the ammunition. Just kind of being patient with the sales that pop up at my local Dunhams. So there you have it. Been a lot of fun learning, and I appreciate what other people put out who've put a lot of time into learning about guns and probably spend more time on it than I have so far. But it's been something fun I've been getting into. Thank you.